Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now.
So what's going on?
Hey, I just had a woman call and speak for about 40 minutes about why her husband, who spent 32 years in prison, is an innocent man and why he should be set free. So that was inspiring to hear her passionately plea for his freedom. Also, I sent a message back to Frank, so him and I are now corresponding. He should check his core links maybe tomorrow, and he should have something in his mailbox. I'm responding to your father now, and he's engaging me in a conversation regarding presidential pardons. I'm on the Department of Justice website right now. Did you know there's an Office of Pardon Attorney? His name is Larry Coopers?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming...
Yes, I applied for...
Okay.
I applied for a pardon from the old guy that Obama had in there, and he didn't pardon anybody. And this new guy, Trump just put him in there.
Okay.
So I did apply, and they never responded. And in my response, I told the pardon attorney that I was not in Idaho and that their liar was in a coma in the VA hospital.
Now
that was handled by me.
Now you know there's a commutation application and a pardon application. So you did fill out the pardon application.
I did both.
Okay, good. Okay.
I did both.
Okay.
And I never heard back from them. That's why I think I might be on the list.
Well, you know, just to be double, triple sure, I might print out another copy and just send you a copy of this application and just send it in again. I mean, just in case, you know, some jackass threw it in the trash or something.
I'll be happy to send it in again.
Okay, I'll mail you a copy. I mean, I think this is the time to strike while the iron's hot. And so I know you already have you already sent one in, but I think it's good to send another one in. So I'll send you a blank form.
I was told that 3,000 list name was people that Obama never bothered to, you know.
Well, my wife heard that. You want to can you elaborate on the 3,000 thing real quick?
Everybody knows it's news. He was getting on the airplane headed to the G7 in Canada, and that's what he said.
Oh, he was asking the NFL players, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that, and he also said he prefers to pardon ordinary people and not celebrities.
Okay, well, you're an I'll put you in that category.
I'm an ordinary guy.
I don't know if you're ordinary, David, but I still think you should be pardoned anyway. Okay. Well, anyway.
Well, did you get a chance to read the 2255 that I emailed over to you?
No, but I did get it. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but...
I'm just trying to get, right now...
You faded out, David.
My guy here.
You faded out for about 5 seconds. Anyway, whatever you said the last time.
As long as basically we've got Bob paid. He's paid, and the briefs are all done. We can kick these things out. And what I was trying to explain to you is that brief that you sent me in the past makes an argument to Maya for jurisdiction. That's a really good argument, but they just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear any jurisdictional argument. What we're trying to do is win. We want to get some people out of here.
Yeah.
And so I know the system's crooked, and I know that you can't really argue the truth. They don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
Yeah. So we need to ride the wave and get out of here, and then I can be more effective to help you if I can get out of here.
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. But I'm going to send you a blank pardon form, and you know, this whole. You know, can you quickly explain to me the difference between a 2241 and a 2255, just so I have a high level understanding of what the difference is?
A 55 is what you file when you lose your appeal.
Okay.
And it moves really fast. And there's a Supreme Court ruling called Welch, and the Welch ruling says that basically we have the right to re-litigate if the Supreme Court makes a new decision that affects us. And so they legally have 30 days to release me or rule against my brief. Only 30 days. So what happens now on the 2255 is they're going to immediately tell the USA...
This call is from a federal prison.
And the USA will come back and respond. And then we will only have like 7 days. and we have to have another brief to counter that brief, and then they're going to make a ruling within a month, 30 days from this coming Monday.
Wow. Okay.
So this thing could actually go real fast. Now, the 2241 is in a better district. It's filed in Kentucky here. That's the Sixth Circuit. But the 2241 is interesting. They don't have to answer right away. That can take a year.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So to do is do some. Now I won my direct appeal, and they overturned my win.
Yeah.
That's never happened. So this is like a very rare occasion. I'm sure you haven't seen any other inmates that won their appeal and had it unwin.
I can't imagine how heartbreaking that must have been to win your appeal and then to make special legislation just for you and call it the Hinkson Standard. I mean, that's insanity.
It violates ex post facto.
Yeah.
You can't change the law after the fact. But the theory of their case now is they admitted he's a good liar, and they said he lied to the jury, he lied to the grand jury, and he lied to me, and everybody believed his lies, and that's why you hired him to be a killer. Really?
Well, I was thinking about that today, David. I mean, let's say what you said earlier is very powerful. That means that you could put anybody in prison for life simply based upon the say-so of another individual. And let's say that I got up on if I got up on the witness stand and flapped my jaws and I said, David hired me to kill a bunch of people, and it's that nobody's going to believe me because I'm some redneck from Texas. But if you put a law enforcement official, well, they're more likely to believe that person, right? Because they've worked 20 years in law enforcement. But if you put a Korean War hero who goes up there and wears a Purple Heart veteran and talks about all of his combat experience, and everybody has sympathy for this, great war hero that is so prestigious in our society, everybody's going to believe anything he says. So it's the most insane thing in the world that they don't have no audio, they have no evidence against you whatsoever except for this one liar. And I said that on a radio, David, and then someone called in and said, well, Ted Gunderson testified too. And then what my response to that is, he might have testified, but that's not damning testimony. He didn't say anything of any significance that made you wind up in prison. Without evidence, let me just say this.
The whole roast, but I do think that I remember him saying, I don't know anything. I remember him just getting up there and saying nothing, really.
Yeah. So
inconsequential.
So you agree with this statement? Without Elvin Joe Swisher and his lies, the prosecution has zero against you. I mean, without Elvin Joe Swisher, there is no case. There is no case, and you should be able to. Well, Elvin Joe Swisher shouldn't be able to tell anything about anybody. He molested his own girls. He's the biggest liar in the United States of America. I mean, it's so provably the case that he's not a man that we should believe in any situation. And for you to be sitting in prison only because of his testimony is the most absurd thing I've ever heard of. So, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Makes sense to me. If you were going to hire hitmen for real in the state, they want a picture of you doing it. They want a recording. They want evidence. The only evidence in my case is my passport, which they hid from the jury, showing that I wasn't in Idaho. And of course, they hid his medical record showing he was in a coma.
Yeah.
And he testified July is when it all happened, and they superseded the indictment and made it December because he was out of his coma. He was still wearing a seatbelt in his wheelchair with a bladder bag hanging on the side of his wheelchair. But
wow.
He got up on the witness stand, and his testimony went against the indictment. And the jury, he got up there and said, murdered on the beach.
Yeah.
Really? You're going to murder on the beach? What Marine would talk about his heroic service, winning his Purple Heart, by using the word murder on the beach? I don't think that makes any sense. But you'd have to be a pretty stupid person in general, or just have the jury fixed in the. I told you, I believe 2 of the jurors were actually fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. You said they were related to the judge or something? Who were they related to?
Yeah. Claudia Haynes is one of them. I was told she was the judge's wife's campaign manager. And at the affidavit, which you got...
This call is from a federal prison.
Ben Casey. I believe Ben Casey is the judge's wife's brother.
Insanity. Even he put out an affidavit that said had he known that Elvin Joe Swisher was lying, he would have never voted guilty.
That's true, but that's somebody you never tried to call. It'd be fun for you to start calling some of these jurors and say, "Did you know this? Did you know this?"
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I agree. I
kind of think that the whole jury, I'm mad at all of them. Really, you're gonna send a man to death by time based on one man's word with no evidence to go with it.
Well, they introduced him.
No pictures, no recording, no nothing.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just imagining. I wasn't there, but it's not just a regular person they got to lie about you. They brought him in as this prestigious Korean War hero, combat veteran. I mean, it's like the worst possible scenario if you're going to have somebody lie about you. It's not like they just picked up a drug addict off the street. They got the most prestigious person they could march into that courtroom, and yet he's the most provably evil person you can, He's just such a liar. I mean, it's so well known. I can't believe that they'll still catch him in prison.
I don't even think the jury ever heard the fact that he sued me while I was sitting in the Boise jail uncharged for 2 years.
Yeah.
He sued me, got a temporary restraining order, and seized my factory. And him and that blonde guy took $100,000 out of my bank account.
Incredible.
While I'm sitting in the jail.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Also, I heard that when you were sitting in jail before trial, they didn't give you proper access to computers, and they were giving it. You had a very hard time preparing for your trial.
In fact, they had strict rules. I wasn't allowed to get even to the law library. I wasn't allowed to even get a law book.
Incredible. Yeah, that's like getting in a fight, like a boxing match, and like before the boxing match, you tie one guy's hand behind his back or something. I mean, it wasn't a fair trial. Mm-hmm. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard of, David. I just pray to God that something happens and you get out of there soon. I know a lot of other people are praying for the same thing, but I do want to mail you another pardon application because I want to not rely upon the fact that you mailed one under Obama. Let's mail in a new one just to make dang sure,
Well, you could type in a rough draft and send it over to Mr. Trump for me.
Yeah, but doesn't it have to have your signature on it, or not?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'll check it out. I've never looked at one.
Filing for people?
Well, maybe your dad can help me with that.
Remember what Trump said? He said, "Give me a list of the people that you want released."
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
He was speaking to the NFL. I wish he would talk to me, but
well,
yeah.
Why wouldn't he be talking to a minister?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to call. I'm going to call and leave a voicemail for that a pardon attorney, and I think your dad might be able to help out too. He seems very interested in helping, so we'll do something over here as best we can.
I'll fill it out.
All right.
I'll fill it out the best I can and mail it back to you.
Okay. We'll get it to you.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
I just wanted to see how you were doing.
All right. Well, God bless you, David. I'm going to go through your emails tonight, so I did get them. I just haven't read them yet.
Oh, I was trying to get Guy to move forward on the crowdfunding to pay for some of this.
All right. That's David Hinkson. He got cut off. I hope you keep him in your prayers. And, you really have to understand what a liar Elvin Joe Swisher is to understand what insanity it is that David Hinkson has sat in prison for 15 years. And there's a piece that Megyn Kelly did with Fox News. So look up Megyn Kelly, Fox News, Elvin Joe Swisher, and you'll see the piece that they did on this man. And plus we have an affidavit from Elvin Joe Swisher's daughter saying he molested his own daughters. He wrote a fake book about going to combat in Korea. I mean, the guy's just nothing but an absolute liar. And so for David Hinkson to be sitting in prison on the testimony of Elvin Joe Swisher is beyond insane. But we'll keep working at it. God bless. Take care.